my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. So thank you to those of you who have sent me Starbucks cards. I'm very much enjoying one today while I'm working on things and filming this video. Thank you. And for those of you who ask, I get a decaf Americano, which is just the espresso, like it's what they put in a latte, but there's not the heavy dose of cream, and then I just get a splash of soy milk in it, just a little bit. So it's pretty much just coffee with a little bit of creamer. All right, so we have some celebration days today. It is PB&J day, peanut butter and jelly. Leave me a comment here of YouTube if you enjoyed peanut butter and jelly as a kid. I did very much. I did love them. But I was a little weird about the jelly part because it made the bread goopy, and so I would have to have it like eat it right away. I just had to have peanut butter if it was a to-go sandwich for later. You know, one of those kid things. It is also Children's Book Day. Now, if you've done we did a sew along with children's books as the theme. So if you did that one, share it. And I wanted to show you one of my childhood books that I still have. And I have several books that were all about the alphabet. So apparently I love the alphabet, either that or my mom loved the alphabet and got them for me. And I'll have to send her a picture of this and see if she remembers it. She wrote my name in there. See, Patty Wentz, that's my name, and that's her handwriting, all nice and neat so that I could read it. But apparently I only put one T for the longest time because I didn't really see any necessary reason to have two T's in there. So that's what I am told anyway. So it is also Color of the Month Day, so we do a Color of the Month every month. For fun, to share something. So share pink quilts that are predominantly pink. Lots and lots of pink. So we want to have a explosion of pink to start out our April. I think that would be very, very uplifting on this once again cloudy day here while I'm taping this. And it is Autism Awareness Day, or it might be week or month. But today we'll put a shout out to be aware of autism. I know many of you have family members and who have this, and so if you have done a quilt for a family member, for a friend to put up for auction, if you want to share a picture of that in our group Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, that would be so amazing. All right, so I have first got to say a reboot. So I've got to do a little reboot, and what do I have? All right. The other one. The other one funny thing we have today is, have you ridden your horse to a bar day? I think of that as one of those, you ever see those things like 100 questions, like have you done any of these 100 things? That would be one that would be on those lists. Have you ridden a horse to the bar? No, because I don't ride horses, but I certainly have been to a bar or two in my time. So I have to reboot. My temperature quilt, I did 0 days for March. I did the roof, so the roof is done for March and April. So I am rebooting this big time. I'm going to put it out on my table here. The threads are here. I am going to do March and then keep up once a week on April. That seems to work much better for me to do them once a week. I also, March, like I said, was just a lot of things that kept me distracted. I was very distracted in March. So I only did a little bit of my March calendar. And that's okay. That's okay. See, I told myself, you're amazing. I think I knew that March was going to be a difficult month for me to keep focused, and it was. So I will reboot this and start April. I started April. I need to put stickers in it though, so I'm not showing you because no stickers. And I haven't done any of the little questions for I don't think there's the horse one in here to the bar. But I think the questions in these books are so interesting and make you really reflect. I'm going to go through the weeks that I haven't done and just do one or two, and then basically, or not, or I might just start with this week and just go forward, and then if I go back, fine. But I'll read them. I'll go read them because I haven't read them in advance. I sort of read a couple, but I'm just sort of hitting them as I get to them. And this 52 list, the author is Maura Seal, and she has several of these books, and they're themed somewhat, so you might want to check that out. All the links are in the description box below. And while you're there, if you would subscribe, if you're not a subscriber yet and you're enjoying the type of things that I do here, the life of quilting, I'd love to have you subscribe and click the little bell so you get notices. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah. Okay. What's on the docket for me? You know, things are wrapping up. There's a couple things wrapping up, and I also want to really do binding. So let me just show you what I've got here, laying around here that I need to address. And then I will get Millie's dresses up on my design wall so you can see them. Okay, let me show you how I'm starting. I've got these, the spools. I need to put the binding on. This, I took a picture, so I need to put it up on my shelf so it can go to the long armor. Here I have the hanging sleeve done, and there is the binding. We have this project from the, so what was this? Oh, this was a specialty box for the banner, door banner. So the tulips I must do. Here are the solstice, the solar solstice fabrics, which I haven't shown you yet. Another piece of fabric I got in. The stuff from the Sew Sampler box. The pressed flowers. Whoops, I'm at the heater here. The pressed flowers that are on the wall that I want to put the sashing, or you know, like the outer part around one of the blocks so you can see it. These things all need to be put away. And then, what have we got over here? Okay, so here's the Mertile. That is what I'm cutting, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you that now. Okay, let's just put this up there first, because you know it goes down the hall here. And I have a shelf right here. This is the shelf that I put all the projects that are waiting to go to the long armor, or you know, something along those lines. So I've got that there. And did you see all my shelves are so full? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Also, just on a side note, I need to sort my books. These are all my books that are my publications, you know, the Pat Sloan books. And I was looking for one the other day, and there's no order. They're not even grouped together. Like, there might be copies. There's multiple copies, which I keep, but they're not together. So yeah. And I want to do this one soon. That's the Barn Star. Get the border, or the binding. Get the binding on that soon. After those two that you just saw, this is going to be next. Before Millie's dresses, let me show you what I'm doing with the Mertile strips, because that's I'm really excited about those border strips that we talked about yesterday. So let me just show you. This last stack, I did 3 circles. So it is, two of them appears to be like a different shape. Anyway, no, it was 1. It's 3, so now there's 6, a pile of 6 here. It's working, but I'm going to have to check my trimming of these small ones and the big ones, because I want to be sure I trim them straight. See that one? They were just, you know, shifted a little bit, so I just need to trim those 2 a little bit shorter so it's straight across. Here are 4 units sewn together. So I think I'm going to get 1 square, which I find kind of delightful, because that means I can put that 1 square. Like, if I wanted to be super frugal and not use it in this project, I could probably get like almost a 3-inch square. If I did it this way, I can see, like, yeah, I could get actually a 3-inch square out of this if I wanted to be frugal and not have less waste, but I want to use it, so I need 2.5. So I am going to, and I want to have it centered. So I need this line. Here, let me scroll you in. So the diagonal line will be on this seam. This seam here will have the diagonal line, and then I want to hit the 2.5 and the 2.5 as best I can, which should be pretty close, on the other diagonal line, diagonal seam, on the other seam. So here we go. I can do 2, so you can see it's going to have this kind of a final waist, but then I can use it in this project. So you have to pick your battles. Like what do you want to do? Do you want to have a bit less waist than this and have a bigger square and not use it in the project, or get one you can use in the project? So now let me just do a little mock-up. I'm grabbing some. So I could do something like this. Okay, let me pull you out. So here I would have this smaller unit that I trimmed away, the 2.5-inch square, which is like an hourglass block, and then the longer piece. And then I'll kind of repeat these around. These probably won't go in every other one because I don't have that many, but I will spread them around. Oh, this is perfect. So good. And then, like I did on the drawing yesterday, these would be, I don't want that. So let me get something here, like here, so you can get a feel for what a doubled one will be. So, right? Here would be, no, so they're not going to line up, the two rows for the border. They won't line up, but they'll be, they'll look like that. Cool, 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 cool. Here is what one block will look like from the pressed flowers. So there are big triangles that go on all 4 sides. Cut a square in half per the pattern, and then you do sew and flip corners, which leave some of these. So I will sew all these together as well. Maybe I'll make a pillow or something that'll go along, or maybe something like keep them, who knows, you know me, like I'll sew those, but what I do with them afterwards, you never know, you never know. So this is how one block will look. Let me put that up there, and then, whoop, then you can see how it will be, because after you do this, the blocks go side by side. So there is, let me pull it up. So there's no sashing. So see, it's a little hard to see, but yeah, and if you go to my project page for pressed flowers, I will put the digital coloring, the digital image of mine up there now so that you can see it. But oh, it's going to be so pretty. I can't wait. But that means I need to think about putting that in rotation, that in rotation, so I can be doing those, doing the scrappy binding border, scrappy border for the Mertile, and sort of process through these things. But we're going to do the dresses now. Let me get the dresses and put them up there, Millie's dresses. There are 4 rows of dresses, and I decided to stretch it out and show 2 a week, rather than hurrying. Plus you have the border, which has to be made. So if you have not started the border yet, you probably want to. So here are my 2 for this week. And I'm going to put the raspberry and then the teal. So I'm balancing the colors out so that I don't have like a pink or a red right on top of each other. So let me just put those up there, and then I'll get the other camera so we can just see them straight on, and how they're going to look. So darling, so darling. Let's look. There they are. These are all sewn with the sashing, the verticals, and then the horizontal sashing, and then the next 2. So you can see how they're balanced. So I don't have like these guys right underneath each other. They're all sort of balanced around. And then this is what the outer border looks like. So there is, if you remember from the picture here, we've got a sort of a light, and then inner border, another background, and then this pieced. So I think that is super fun. Oh, I love it so much. It is actually going to be a little further out in real life when it happens. But this you can start working on now so that you are ready. I'm definitely in a balancing act kind of days for a few days just to work through things. Next, I want to sew this binding for the drawing room one. That's the one I kept instead of the one that was finished. But it needs the binding and the hanging sleeve, which the sleeve's made, but it's not stuck on there yet. And then, so after I do that binding, I will put binding on this. And so that is my task for now. Okay, I'll sew a little bit and be right back. This binding is sewn. I do have to press under 1/4 of an inch, and then it will be ready. And I want to do back to back for these two, and then the Barn Star like I mentioned earlier. All right, before I do the binding for the spools, I took my block a month, the toffee bars outside onto the clothesline. Let's look. It really looks good when you can put a quilt on the clothesline. It's been a little while since I've been out here to do that. I think mostly because it's either been raining or too cold. I just didn't want to come out in the cold. So it's been lovely to put it out here today. It was just blowing. It was so cute. And now, of course, it's not blowing at all. So anyway, there it is. It was fun. I have not hung one on the clothesline for several weeks because of, like I said, different reasons. Okay, we are on orange, like my beloved Aurifil spools. Where's the spool here? The orange base, right? Okay, which shade of orange? Which shade? I have two here. I probably have more, but these two were available, so that is what I'm going to look at. So I basically want to lay the piece of fabric out. There we go. Lay a piece of fabric out, and then don't put your spool down like this because it does not tell you the true color. That's too dense. It's too much. So take just a thread and lay it on top. Oh, great. Okay, so we'll just lay it down. Take the spool down there. Okay, so there's a thread on top, and that's pretty good. It's a little darker, which if you are having to choose between one that's lighter and one that's darker, often the darker is the better because it recedes and light colors pop towards you. And so I also have more. I think I have, where is it? Okay, I think I have more of this one than this one, although I do think I have plenty on here. Since I am not blanket stitching this down, I'm just going to top stitch it. But I think I'll go ahead with the darker one. So I am going to use this one, which is 1154, color 1154. So do you see how dark that is though? When you lay it down, you think like, oh, that's really, really dark. But when you just put one thread, it's pretty much, it's not an exact perfect match, but it is really good. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Sew it up. And it's done. The end of the binding is done. So let's take a look. Let us look. Okay. Exciting. I can tell you that sewing the orange binding on here, I was just like, it is so perfect. It is so perfect. Orange and blue, particularly that summer blue, which I'm using here. Oh, wait, I'm stuck. Hold on. Oh my gosh, if it can go wrong, it will, right? If you can get something, wound around, yeah, that's me. It will happen. So here it is. The spools, they are patterned by Wendy Shepherd, my good buddy, and we did this together. So if some of you did this, I would love to see it today. Share your spool quilt. I know a bunch of you sewed along. This was I believe this was one of the March block-a-days that I've done. So I would love to see it. But look how amazing the binding is. That orange just brings that spool color out just that little bit, just that pop. It's so great. I think this is going to go in here on the back wall. So I think I will take down the fruitcake and I will put this up over there. But I do have to hand stitch down the sleeve. So I'll hand stitch down the sleeve and get that done. This is the backing. It's all this except for one little strip where I ran out, kind of down here at the bottom. Yeah, there. Make do, right? You make do. All right, my friend. There you go. It ended up being another great Tackle It Tuesday where I I got moved things forward. It got things done, got some stuff done, got things figured out. So that's good. So be sure you share everything, whatever I told you to share. Okay. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.